Hey everyone, it's Meg Casebolt from Love at First Search, and today we are going to be talking all about the internal links on your website and how that impacts how Google sends traffic to your website. Internal links are any links that go between one page on your website to another page on the same domain. These types of links are important and useful for three reasons. One, they allow people to navigate through your website more easily. It gives them a better user experience to be able to find more content easily. Two, internal links also establish an information hierarchy on your website. It lets Google know what the most important pages are, and it decreases the clicks that it takes to get between different pages. And three, internal links help spread what's called link equity. This is also sometimes called your ranking power or your SEO juice or your link juice. And basically what it is that the more links that go to a specific page, the more it increases their page rank, the more likely it is to show up in search results. And the benefit of internal linking is that it can help pages that aren't getting a lot of traffic to get more without making anything new. So if you feel like you've created some really great content and it's not getting the recognition that it deserves, you may want to take some time to link other pages to that page in order to get it to grow in its link equity. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the two different kinds of internal links you need to think about and how you can add internal linking strategy to your SEO planning. Hi, I'm Meg Casebolt from Love at First Search, where we help online business owners to show up in search results and then turn those new users into leads, subscribers, and sales. This video is going to be all about internal linking, the linking between different pages and assets on your website in order to keep people on the page longer, to make it a better user experience, and to boost the SEO to specific pages. Now, there are two different types of internal links. There are navigational links and there are contextual links. Navigational links are ways for people to navigate around your site. That's why they're called that. If you have links along your main navigation, your menu bar, if you have links in your footer, if you have links in your header, your categories, those are navigational. You're not saying, if you're in this specific situation, this is what you need. You're saying, here's an overview of what we have around the site, and here are the most popular pages that you may want to visit, I should say. The other type of link is contextual links. These are links that are happening within the copy of your pages that refer to other pages around your website. These are links that are showing people other things that you've created that are relevant to what they're already reading. There are two different types of contextual links. There are image links and there are text links. And generally, as a general rule, text links tend to perform better than image links. They tend to get more clicks. They tend to transfer more link equity. So if you have the chance to add an image link, you may also want to include a text link with it. Contextual links tend to perform better than navigational links because they're right there in your content. They're able to tell people, if you like this is something else that we've created that's also relevant to that. They're more specific to the needs of the people who are consuming your content. Now, there are a lot of ways to include links to other pages on your site in your content. So how do you decide what you want to link from one page to another? Well, often it kind of just shows up naturally. If you're writing about the same general idea of things and you have content that's related to each other, it makes sense naturally within the body text of your content to say, hey, go check out this page too. It shows how valuable you are and what an expert you are in your field. But instead of saying something like, if you're interested in my best coffee mug recommendations, click here, and then linking the words click here, you actually want to link the relevant words within that sentence. So you would instead link coffee mug recommendations. And when I say link, we want that to be the part that's underlined. We want that to be the thing that people are clicking on, because then Google knows that the page that we're sending them to is about the best coffee mug recommendations. It's sort of as an indicator to Google's robots what that page is all about. And another way to link to more pages is to always think about what you want people to do at the end of a particular piece of content. So linking to your call to action. If you want to send people to your contact form, if you have an opt-in lead magnet landing page that you want people to click on, if you have a specific product you'd recommend, link to those calls to action and send people to take that next step. However, there are times where I do not not recommend linking to everything available. For example, if you're an e-commerce site and you have a product page, I don't recommend taking people from a page where they're getting out their wallets and they're ready to buy and sending them to like an educational post about why they need this. If you're trying to sell a coffee mug, don't send them to the thing that has the list of 20 other coffee mugs. Instead, your internal links can be, here's some coffee you can buy. Here's a coffee bundle that you can include this coffee mug in. Here's the things that other customers bought when they bought this product. Here are things that are frequently purchased together. By including links to other products or other things that they may want to buy, they may be more likely to buy more or bundle their product with something else. There are a lot of questions that people have specifically about internal linking, so I'm going to try to do them a little bit rapid fire here to move through them. If you have additional questions, please ask them in the comments and I will either answer there or I will try to create another video to answer the questions that are popping up here. People will ask, should I link to the same thing in multiple places? You don't really need to. The first link is the one that counts and Google ignores any subsequent links. So you never really have to link to your homepage because that's automatically linked in your main navigation. Don't feel like you have to link to your key pages from every single blog post, or like you have to keep linking the same thing over and over again in case people miss it. You can if you continue to mention it, but the first one is the one that counts to Google. Another question, does it matter if links open in the same window or in another window? Nope, that doesn't matter how Google perceives that link at all. Instead, when you're trying to make that decision, you may want to think about what your user's experience is. If you want them to be able to get back to that original page very easily, you may want to open in a new window, or if you want them to have more of a seamless experience, you may want to keep it in the same window. Think more about your user and what they need as opposed to what Google's worried about here. Does every page on my website need a link? Yes. If a page does not have a link to anywhere else on the site, it's what's called an orphan page. Orphan content is pages and posts that don't have any other links from anywhere on your site. And that way, it's really hard for Google to find them. It's really hard for other people to find them. If you feel like you might have a lot of orphaned content on your website, you can use a free tool like Screaming Frog. It has a whole report that it will run for you for free, letting you know if there are any pages on your website that don't have any of those internal links. And then it's a pretty quick fix to find another page that's relevant to it and send over a link. On the other hand, is there such a thing as too many links? No, not really. As long as they're relevant links, then it doesn't really matter how many there are. Google can index hundreds of links on a specific page. However, the more links you include, the less link equity it passes. So you don't want to just slam all your links into a page just for funsies. Make sure that they're relevant. Make sure that you have a plan for which pages would make sense to link to other pages. And in fact, if you have a lot of content that's related to each other, it may make sense to create a page specifically to consolidate all of these links, which would be called a cornerstone guide. I'll do an entire video about cornerstone content later, but the idea of a cornerstone guide is finding a centralized hub and then linking in and out, cross-linking between all of your related content. And that's a really great way to build a page that has a ton of link equity and a ton of page rank. And cornerstone guides often rank really well for specific target keywords because of all that link equity. So I'll definitely talk about that in another video, and I'll link to it right here when it's ready. And what I just said is actually a good indicator of what we often do when we're creating content is we think about what are the things that we want to create in the future that we can go back and link, and what are the ways that all of our content can fit together. So frequently as people are creating new content, they think about what they've already created. Like, hey, I did a video about internal links in the 30-day SEO Jumpstart. I should link to that so that way people know how this fits in. I would have to remember to go into that original video and say, hey, I've done an updated video all about internal linking throughout your entire site and not just a post. So what are some ways that you can make sure that you're linking between old content and new content that's relevant to each other? We have a rule that every time we publish a new piece of content, we find an old piece of content that's relevant to it and we link through to it. That's just part of our internal checklist. And we always make sure to use relevant anchor text to drive link equity from the old post to the new post. This also helps the page to get indexed more quickly and make sure that Google knows that it exists and we don't have any orphan content hanging around, because especially with new content, it can be hard to remember to go back and make those updates to old content to link it in. If you don't have a checklist that your team goes through, that's okay. Tools like Yoast or Rank Math will often put this in their checklist reminders. And I think Rank Math will include ideas of relevant internal links in their free version. I think for Yoast, it's only in the paid version. I also use a plugin called Link Whisper. I'll include a link to that below. And what it does is indexes my entire page, figures out how many internal and external links I have going out from each page, coming into each page. It finds orphan links, and it will actually go through and automatically add links if I give it permission to do so. So that's a really good way if you have a bunch of old content to check and see if you have any of this, and also be able to make updates on the fly if you're on a WordPress website. And another way to make sure that you are linking to other relevant content on your posts is to build it into your theme or your plugins. So if you add relevant blog post links at the end of each post, then that's an easy way to make sure that you have things that are related to it, in the same category linked within that post. Sometimes I'll even go through and add it at the end of a paragraph and just say, like, here's a related post in case people are curious about it. And that's our quick guide to internal linking on your website for boosting your SEO. If you have any specific questions, make sure to comment below with them. Like this video, subscribe to the channel for the next phases of this site structure series, and I'll see you next week with more SEO tips.